This is 70.
Where they had set up bogus accounts for customers. We've heard about this.
And this
They got
is
fined another $3.7
70.
billion last December. Hold the phone. That's not the story. What the story is starts with a man named Jay Patterson. Jay Patterson's just like Dan, where he's not a fan of Wells Fargo. In fact, he is an accountant in the Little Rock area, and Mr. Patterson has always been an advocate to stay away from Wells Fargo and to go to smaller local banks. Now, this guy wakes up one day and finds an account with $12 in it with his name on it at Wells Fargo. He's like, what is this? I never opened up this account. So starts diving into it. It's his account.
All right, it worked. It worked. All right. It worked. Let's turn this off. Hey, Lucky. I didn't mean to scare you. Didn't mean to scare you. Nice to see your smile. Nice to see the smile. All right, so I know Tony Twits. What was his last name? Yeah, P-Man, I saw that. I'm, as you know, P-Man, I'm a, yeah, Tony was great. And, you know, you guys may think I'm a loony, but I think he's up there fighting the cause with the man above. You might be surprised. An archangel might come down and change things for us. You never know. It's a problem with being, you know, not a great Catholic, but Catholics kind of have some, what's the word? Not magical in a bad way, but magical in a blessed way, thinking. Oh. Okay. My eyesight's going the way that my dog is going. We've got 4 minutes. Yeah, Lucky is doing better, but I'm preparing myself. I didn't go on my trip. He's on steroids, and I'm preparing myself that it's just, you know, a false spring. But I tell you what, he's got a smile. He's been eating these little things of food I've been giving him. Spends most of his time sleeping. He can't walk very well. But as long as he has a joie de vivre, I'm going to be there for him. I am going to be there for him. I am going to be there for him. Yes, rest in peace, Tony. And, you know, remember to say a little prayer for him, even if you didn't know him. You don't know what happens with prayers. Pray that he's, you know, any wrongs or sins are forgiven for all the good that he did, because he did a lot of good. And mostly I would pray that he gets to heaven. Yeah, Ted, it's he's sitting over here. There's basically, we got 2 minutes, but basically the doctor said we can put him away or down. We can give him an MRI, which would have been $3, $4, $5 up at Friendship Hospital, and then surgery if necessary. Or we'll give him steroids and see if he recovers. And that's the choice I made. P-Man. Yeah, Bird Lady. Tony's great. Bird Lady, I really like her analysis. And I like that she makes herself a bird lady so that no one takes her financial advice seriously, but I think they should. I think she does a really good job. I think everybody's done an amazing job. Everybody. It's incredible. So I'm sorry to see Tony go, and I say bless him in heaven, and may he be embraced in God's arms forever and ever, in peace and love. All right, let's get the main event. Let's get the voice. Let's get the voice on the line. Before he gets all annoyed, he's going to get all annoyed. Where are you? Why haven't you called? What? All right, here he goes.
Are you ready?
Ready. Born ready. Born ready.
All right, everybody. Again, welcome. It's another day of security fraud. Reporting on it. Again, it's not to buy or sell, in case the SEC is listening. We're here to educate people about the security fraud and the looting or counterfeiting of the U.S. equity markets. Number one, I want to start off with a gentleman that passed away, Tony Twits. I guess that was his nickname on Twitter. He was part of the MMTLP community. I heard he was a big part of it. He did great due diligence, I heard, and I think he passed away due to COVID. I'm not sure. That's what someone told me. I just wanted to pass it along, and I just want to let people know that's the biggest part of this crime, is that time is a killer, and it's actually taking people's lives. Fighting this crime, you should be enjoying your life and your investments, not here being security regulators, being FBI agents, or whatever else we have to be, to try to fight for your investment so you don't lose all your money. That to me is what some people don't realize, the point that I make every day. Whether you're someone, a loved one has cancer or some illness or whatever it may be, the SEC, FINRA, they don't give a shit. It's been going on 20-something years, 35 years, and they could care less. They're just stealing your money, and they don't give a rat's ass. And I'm trying my best to make sure things happen. Again, but I just want people to realize, life is short, and these scumbags don't care. And that's why when you hear me speak about them, it's because I know people that passed away. I put my friend's picture up all the time. Many people have passed away in this fight. And many more. The rest of us will. All right? And I don't treat them, they're wasting my time. They're wasting your time. And they're trying to steal your money. Lynn Partners, the Kramers, Yorkville, you name it, whoever the scumbags are, Sabby, that guy, that fat bastard. These people, they should be in jail immediately. All right? They're just trying to steal your money. And like I said, this poor guy, Tony Twits, passed away, and fighting for the good people. He took time. I don't know how long he was fighting, but you know what? He spent his time, he did his research, and, it was an added bonus to all those poor people that are trapped in that stock. And that's why I keep trying to tell you, these people are not your friends. You don't have to post things on Twitter, go get them. They're not your friends. If you think they're your friends, just give them your money and walk away. But they're not taking our money. So, again, I don't understand how people aren't angry, spreading the word, retweeting. It takes a second. You're sitting on Twitter anyway. Retweet the SEC. No one's going to bite you. And just do it in the name of Tony, who just passed away, who was fighting. Okay, I know many people who passed away. Again, that bothers me more than anything else. Money is money. We all want the money. God, we all know that. But everyone here, we're all getting older, and you're going to die. Protect your family. Fight for what you're right. And you know what? That's the way I look at this thing. So I'll move off of this subject right now. But again, stand up, do your part, or move along. I don't know why you waste your time. Sell your stock. Go enjoy your life. If you want to end it to protect your family, your grandkids, your kids, your parents, whoever it may be, then stand up and fight. If you don't want to, go to the side and get lost. I really don't care. I don't have time for you. Don't ask any questions. I'm not here to educate you about the equity markets. I do my best, but stop asking questions if you're not going to fight. All right? Fighting means I don't ask you about investing. I'm not asking for your money. I don't ask for anything. Retweet, do whatever you can, call your politician, follow the MMTL people. They'll show you how to fight back. And that's what I'm trying to stress here. You know, William puts up his time. I put up my time. Many other people put up their time to help you and educate you. The least you can do is just support us. All right? I know it's a pain in the ass, but you're here, retweet, say something, speak your mind. Hey, criminals, we pointed it out to you. They don't want to sue anybody because they know it goes to discovery. All right? We all know that. They can't show their cards. You don't think that these guys are hiding trades? You don't think they've taken the money before? All right? They know the paper trail leads back to them. God, we call them terrorists every day. What do you think? They're lawyers. They're sitting there. They don't know what to say. They're going to get busted, and when they go to jail, they belong in jail for life. And that's why I told you, when I see Lynn Partners and the Kramers in the Southern District of New York, I'll be in the first row. Teach the juror. Teach everyone in the jury about what they've done. Looting your pension funds, stealing your money like it was their right to do it. Anyway, I just wanted to let you get that off my chest. That bothers me, that people fighting pass away. The rats, these other people should be dying. They should all be suffering, all right, from the worst diseases possible, their whole families. Anyway, let's move on. There's a lot of companies that are fighting back, you know, that GRRR. Roger Rabbit's got something going on with his GNS and his dividend. He's got, you know, how many millions of shares trading. Again, I'm not really up to speed on everything he's doing. Boy Sam, Frank Charlie paid off their convertible debenture. ASRE paid off the Kramers and got them trapped. Apple, Sam, Robert, Eddie, you know, that stock, these guys. I mean, it's just endless criminal stuff just to loot the market. Has nothing to do with investing. Okay, it's just something that, you know, we can't stop, and the SEC knows all about it. And I promise you this, William.
Yes, sir.
If you thought the upcoming episodes on naked short selling from our side of the fence was going to go easy on these guys, thanks to Tony, they're saying in memory of Tony, we will make it 10 times worse. Okay, we will not let them get away. It'll be a hard-hitting piece. It'll be on television. Their families, everyone around the world can see the faces of criminals. We're going to put their faces out there and let the world know. Here's Bonnie and Clyde. You want them? Here's their most wanted posters. That's where their faces belong. All right? And they're stealing the money, having a good time until they're in jail, and then you're going to see how the things change. All right. Anyway, William, I'll let you go with some questions because I just lost my train of thought. But
well, are you saying that Jeff Easton isn't a genius at money management?
Yeah.
There's people are asking about AMC, but what the hell? I don't know there's anything to do with that.
I told you about AMC. I've been pushing the picture of the CEO. We know the gentleman sitting next to him. He talked about fighting with a dividend, and he said no, straight to him. I put the picture of the guy up there. Go back and see when I first put it up there. It was a year and a half ago. I don't think it was last football season. It was at the Kansas City football game. What more do you want me to say? I told you 50,000 times.
Don't get lost in it. Don't get lost in it. And then someone...
No, I just listen. The guy don't want to help. What else can I tell you? I don't know. I'm not going to follow, you know, what he does. It just doesn't. If the company's not fighting, I don't know how you can. How can you support them?
In terms of Finger, one gentleman's asking, it seems like the shorts just have an easy job today keeping it down. Do we need heavy volume to get it over 6?
Listen. The shorts are not having an easy job. They know the buyers of where they are, and they're looking at each other. Okay? But the accumulation, and so you understand it, everyone on this phone, if you had to buy 5 million shares of stock, let's say, and you keep forcing the stock to go up, each dollar up is going to cost you $5 million more to buy the same amount of shares. So for the big buyers to sit here, maybe they want to buy 10 or 20 million shares. Each dollar is enormous. If you chase it up without accumulating it, if you wanted to buy 20 million shares, you may be only to buy 12 million shares because you moved it up because the money's gone. So it's their job to accumulate it at their pace and keep sucking in all the sellers. You know, if someone wants to bail out, that's your prerogative. But these guys are standing here. If you can't tell someone's accumulating this stock, then I don't know what to tell you. I mean, you can see it. This is the sign of accumulation. Accumulation always leads to higher prices. That's just what everyone was taught. You can see that they stopped selling it down. They know where the buy orders are. Many of the market makers, if they have a real market maker out there, they talk to each other. All right? It's everybody against the short. He's just manipulating it from wherever offshore place he is. And they will fold. All right? They will. They can't continue. The accumulation, the pressure in D.C., it's going to get to them. It's all going to catch up. They had their chance. Instead of trying to play nice with the company, they tried to destroy it. And now it's biting them on the ass. And now they're going to go to lose everything and go to jail. You tell me which side of the fence you want to be on. If you own the options, I understand everyone's gripe. We want the options to go so we can cash out our options. All right? Do I believe that you're going to get a spike? I do believe they're going to. In my gut, in my opinion, you're going to get a nice spike this week. That's what it's telling me. We've been saying it for 2 weeks. I don't control it. I believe it's going to pop. I think it's going to pop big. All right? And I can't tell you how high. I can't tell you if this is the big show, but it's coming.
Not to change the subject, a gentleman wrote a long disquisition on GTII. I was unable to read it all before it spun up, but he said, GTII, unbelievable, 10Q out. Please comment. I don't know. Have you seen the 10Q? Are you able to comment? I can try to read it to you, what he said.
No, listen. I don't give two shits what a company does. I really don't. It's just about stock settlement. If the company is doing something that you don't like, then sell the stock. I can't. I'm not management. I don't care what they do. The company's been trying to do acquisitions. You know what? If they can't do it, that's not up to me. I don't control it. If they found the cure for cancer, look at CELU. I told you I met with these guys. It's 30 cents. 30 cents. They just raised $8 million from Yorkville. It's 30 cents. If I didn't know better, and that was my first play, I would have bought in when the stock was 80 when I met with them. I would have been all in, betting everything I can, and I would have a 30-cent stock now. Because if you went to their offices and sat down with the management, you would sit there and say, oh, my God, this is going to be a home run. It's only down from 80 to 30 cents. And it's a spin-off from Biogen. So it doesn't make a difference what a company does. All right, I could care less. So if you want to discuss that, discuss it with yourself. I don't like to care. I always say the same thing.
This guy,
I don't care.
This guy's not. I don't think using his rational part of his brain. Apparently the expenses went from 2 million to 80 million. That's not what. Maybe that's an accounting entry, but that's not what happened. It's just ridiculous.
Yes, they raised $80 million and they spent it on expenses. Listen,
whatever.
These are accounting things. It's over my head. It's over everyone's head.
I think it's the stock that they issued, but it's just an accounting entry. It's not a big deal.
It's a non-event. The stock is trading. The stock is sitting here waiting for finger motion to go, and then it's going to explode. That's just it. As you call the DTC, if anyone has any problems, call the SEC up and ask them about unsettled trades. And you say, well, they ask you, where do you know about that? So, well, the DTC told us, and just send them the proof from the DTC, which is posted on Twitter every day. I mean, that's, to me, that's what this is about. AMC, I went to the movie theaters. I made my donation. The movie theaters are packed. Everything is great. The summer blockbuster season. Barbie, whatever her name is, whatever that show is, Barbie selling tickets like crazy. You got the Oppenheimer movie. You got Mission Impossible. And the stock is down, 35% today. No one cares. Could care less what they do. So, again, that and a token to get you on the subway, as they say, it doesn't make a difference. We're here to expose the criminals and squeeze the life out of them when the stocks go. If Finger explodes, I told you before, Lynn is going to go bust, and eventually the prime broker is going to take the hit for it, and that would be Jeffries. So I wouldn't advise you to be long a brokerage stock in this environment. And if you see finger motion start to rocket towards 20, that's when I would start looking at puts on Jeffries. Okay? Because like Credit Suisse, it took a little time, and then it went to zero.
Are there any other stocks that Lind is trapped in?
So I think they just paid off. I really don't follow them that much, you know. I think if we knock them out here, they'll be. I think they'll be dead. I think they got paid off in Boy, Sam, Frank, Charlie. I wrote a note about it, but I can't. I think I wrote Lynn next to it. Boy, Sam, Frank, Charlie. I don't know the company, but I believe they got paid off there too. So I don't know. You can check it out yourself if you care. Lynn is Len Bunny out. Remember, all they do is sell against their debentures.
Is there any news on Wolf?
Yes, the earnings came out. They were positive. Of course, the short speed it back down, and now it turned back. It was almost unchanged on the day. Just go. I posted it up there. What more can you say? Yeah. Remember, they have their own internal analyst. Oh, they have earnings. They missed the whisper
numbers.
Right. If they earn 4 cents, the whisper number is 25 cents. It's below. That was a Wall Street scam for many years ago. There's a number, and then there's a whisper number. The whisper number is made up by the short sellers that they didn't make it.
Very funny.
That's what they did. It was called the whisper number. And I'm sure if anybody who's old enough remembers who worked on the street, that was a big thing. And just in a different note, I found a story from 2004, and the headline was Financial Terrorism in America. Well, that is exactly going to come around again, and we're going to make Lynn movie stars with that title. Financial Terrorism in America, the counterfeiting of the U.S. equity markets. There's your headline. And Lynn Partners' puss is going to be right next to it. And we're going to send it to all the agencies that deal, okay, with organized crime and terrorism. Because as far as I'm concerned, the money's going offshore. Where is it going to? All right, we want that paper trail. You know the money's led back to Lynn Partners. All these transactions they've done over time and producing these returns, they're not putting the trades in somebody else's account. All right? So they're putting that money, all these winning trades and everything they're making shorting, they're putting in an account that they control so they can get the money out when they need it. And that's what's going to bust them, because they all do the same thing. The claim is they all do the same thing.
Go ahead.
They will be stars on your TV shortly. Trust me. And it's going to be brutal.
That's just what Jeff Easton wants. Notoriety.
He's going to be a star.
What do you think will happen Thursday for the option prices on Finger, the price of Finger, by either Thursday or by Thursday?
What does Thursday have to do with it?
It's the day before expiration.
So I wanted to talk to you about that for 1 second, just to show everybody the option game and how it's great and how it's important to roll your options up. For example, if you bought the NVIDIA 400 calls before it went up, it went to $460. Let's say you paid $10 for the 400. They were probably trading at $70 a share. On Friday, they destroyed the stock down to, even today, it was down to 403. So that option that was $70 was back down to $10. Right? Think about that. All that premium gone. And today, now it's making its way back up the ladder again. Now, do you think that was done to shake out people, to bail out? I put it up that they were going to attack it, and they did. So what did they do? They destroyed people in these options. Okay, that's a way for them to steal your money. And if you listen to me, I've always told you, when you have an option that you paid money for, big money, and it starts to run, you sell that, and then you buy a cheaper option. And then when it goes up, you buy another cheaper option, and you keep rolling your position up. So if the stock was to crash, you can walk away like in a stock like NVIDIA. You probably, instead of making $70 in options, you probably make $50 in options, and when it crashes, you don't lose anything. Instead, the people that held on to those options that went to 70 went always back down to 10, probably shit their pants and sold them out somewhere in the middle there. And that's why you take that money off the table in the option game. If you own the stock, that's a different story. All right? But I'm just showing you that stock options do trade up and down. And I do believe we're going to get that run this week, and that everyone, I believe, will get a good shot. Get a shot at moving your options, doing whatever you have to do with your options. But be smart when it goes, because you are playing with limited time. I don't control that. I don't control the manipulation. But again, the shorts know the option game, and I just showed you what they did to NVIDIA. And you can't get any bigger company than that. And they manipulated that one down 50 points. Just go look at the chart. You can see it yourself.
That was a good explanation on the options. One of your listeners has 3 $8 calls expiring on Friday, and I hope.
Oh, and finger motion.
Yeah, and finger. I hope she learned a little
I
bit.
thought you were saying $8 options. I was just saying, I don't know what that is.
3 of the $8.
It's not over yet. I told you the story. I made $300,000 on a Friday with 4 minutes to go. All right, that, options again it is what it is. What you pay for them. We got it. You know your risk. Think about if you would have paid $7 for the stock and it went down to $4. I'd be down $3 if I bought. I'd much rather own $7 calls that I pay 50 cents for that go to zero than lose $3 in the stock.
Right.
That's why people buy options. You limit your risk.
One gentleman points out we could rent a billboard on Times Square.
I know all about it. Yes, I'm kind of looking into that, but we've insulted them beyond belief. We've called every federal agency to spend $200 to have a 30-second photo of them in Times Square. Do we really need that? I thought about it. I'd rather spend the money and put it on the truck and, put it in front of the SEC again and play the circus music or the ice cream truck music all day long and torture them.
How does Lind afford these sales? Don't they have to put up $7, $10 per share?
Yeah, they're not. Look at the sales. Again, they could be bringing in a friend to try to help them out, but obviously, no matter what they do, the buyers that keep sucking it up, right?
Right.
The only thing everyone on this phone is complaining about is that we have options expiring Friday. I'm well aware of it. We all know about it, and we want the big buyers to run them over so we can all have a party. I got it. Believe me. I'm 100% on the same page. But again, if you have the order and you're trying to buy the stock, how do you buy 5, 10, 20 million shares of stock and try to do it so it doesn't hurt you, the investor? That's the trick here. And I don't know how big the order is, or do I know how big the investors are? I don't know. but you can see it. This is something that you can see. You can feel every time they attack, it goes bounces right back up. Every time they try to push it down, there's someone scooping up the shares. They're not selling it down and buying their own stock to try to cover it. So we know they're trying to hold it down, but they can't. And like a cake, when you bake it, it rises, right? But it's yeast, it rises in cakes when you bake it, right?
Well,
That's what's going to happen here.
You pointed out a scenario where they might buy, I don't know, 1,000, 3,000 shares on the ask, and then just start hitting the bid with that same share, those same shares. And it looks like they did that.
That is the stuff that Goldman Sachs, they're marking their tickets as long sales. This is all the stuff that they do. They create, they buy options. They can buy options if anyone's selling them, turn around and get them exercised and take the stock and get long stock. Do it that way, right? You know that if you buy a $2 call and say, I like to exercise it, you can exercise it and get equity. You can get the stock and they turn around and they sell it. That's another trick. But I don't want to get into all the dirty tricks. At the end of the day, they're short 165 million shares. We document it every day. They're not buying it. We know the number isn't going down. They covered some of the short, the real short, I think it was 180,000. So the real short is panicking. They're only down 3+ points on 687,000 shares. So the most they can make, I said that they shorted it below 2. The most they can make is $1.2 million. And they're down almost $2 million already, 2-point-something million in their position. That, my friend, is a dummy getting ready to go broke. All right? So that is the real short.
If Finger runs, do you think GTI does as well?
Yes. Finger goes to 10, GTI will be between $3 and $5.
This one gentleman loved to hear that. He paid $4.51 for GTII. A couple of people are asking about wolf calls. I don't know what to say, so maybe you have advice.
Wolf had came out with earnings. They bought cheap calls. You bought the threes at 10 cents or 15 cents. It is what it is. It's a crapshoot. All right, but it's not over yet. The company's making money. It makes money at Bitcoin. I forget what the number is, but just do a little legwork in it and you'll see. But the earnings, just read what they're doing. The company's going crazy. So the short can hold it down for today, but tomorrow's another day. So, it's not over yet.
Do you know
if you look at it,
yeah.
Finger motion went from 7 to 4, right? Everyone thought it was over, right? Just like I said on, for those who don't understand it, Animal House, John Belushi said the war wasn't over when the Germans bombed Pearl Harbor, right?
No, it wasn't.
Right. When I said that one time, one person posted, don't you understand what happened? I'm like, never mind.
I saw, by the way, I'm going to put it up if I can find it. I saw John McEnroe playing pickleball. I wondered if you were on the other end of the court.
I heard about that. Yesterday I played just to lighten it up a little bit. I played against a very, very, very good tennis couple. Very good. He was 6'5", and she was actually about 6 feet tall too. Very good. And I hit the wife twice, and I hit him twice. I mean, as hard as you can. They weren't happy. I said, welcome to the game.
Mr. Demo is pointing out that the Japanese bombed Pearl Harbor.
Thank you. I didn't know that. Thank you.
So which one do you think goes higher, Finger or GTII?
Okay, listen, everybody. I'll go through my opinion again. I think Finger Motion has the same dynamics as Volkswagen between ownership, the huge short that just keeps growing, and the knowledge of the investors has been outstanding. Again, I don't know all the investors, but I do think that everyone's got a good feeling about what's happening here between Lynn Partners is the short. We know they're running out of steam. It's like a bullfight. We keep stabbing them in the neck, and they keep getting slower and slower, like a bullfight. Right? The Matador's coming out there. Williams coming out there as the Matador, and we'll finish them off shortly. And I do believe it's going to have a monster run, a real monster run. Like we said with Pistol Pete from Philly, you got to be in it to win it. I told 100 people this weekend to own one share. You don't need to buy a lot. Buy one share. At least watch it and learn. You have to be in it to win it. That's all it is. You don't have to buy a share if you don't want to. I could care less. But to be part of something that I believe that will educate you, and then you can understand everything about it. So when you have a vested interest in it, even if it's one share, you'll check on it and see, hey, whatever happened to this stock? And you can see whatever happened to the shorts here. You know what? And this is the way you have a vested interest in it. I told hundreds of people to buy GameStop. Not many did. Okay? And when it ran, they all came back and said, why didn't you push me to do it? And now I have to push people to do it. I'm not doing that. That's your determination. You make your own decisions. And the best way to do it is you buy one share and say, I'm here. I spent $5.60. I'm here. Let me see what happens. Let me see if you're right. That's the way, the safest and the best way. If you want to tell someone to do it, you buy one share. It won't kill you. If you're watching the stock market, buy one share, and then you'll get the smart asses. What am I going to do with one share? I have 500 of those friends. And I'm just saying, I don't care what you do. Just make sure you own one share. This way you can watch what happens and make sure you know. And I'm putting my name to it that I told you. And that's what I did. And that's what I continue to do every day.
You do. And you're much appreciated. Lots of
listen,
thanks.
I'm more angry that this poor guy passed away while fighting a cause that he never knew what's going to happen. I mean, that bothers me because, you know what, we're all getting older. People pass away. And my anger towards the short seller just grows. I mean, these guys belong in jail yesterday. All right, this is a disgrace that people have to pass away fighting, not that a company has done great things, or, you know, AMC with its movie theaters, or this or that, whatever it may be, that you have to fight for your investment. What kind of market is it? What kind of country is this? You have to fight for your investment because no one else will. So, but you know what? Anyone who's on this call knows that we are fighting for our investment. This is the front line. There's thousands of people behind us, and I thank them all. All right, but we all know what's at stake here. Just read other people on Twitter. Read what they have to say. Read their opinions. And remember, people bash the stock because they want you to sell it. No one's going to bash. I'm not going to scare you into buying the stock. Hurry up, everyone. Get out there and go buy the stock. God damn it. Okay, I can't scare you into buying it. But if I wanted to, I can go out there and pick a stock like Jeffries, and I can tell you every day, sure, that Jeffries is going out of business. I could put stories up there and yell fire every day. But I don't. I do believe that when finger motion goes and it finally explodes, I think Jeffries' day in the sun will come then. Not until then, but I believe that will collapse that stock. I put the story about Goldman Sachs in the New York Post this weekend, where the chairman they made a bad trade. They lost $50 million. Everybody is ripping the CEO up, and he has a job as a DJ at night. He likes to DJ, the guy. So what they're doing to try to get rid of him, they're making fun of him that this guy has something he likes to do on his spare time as a DJ. But he lost $50 million at Goldman, and they're writing stories about they want to hang this guy. Imagine when you lose $5 billion or $10 billion, what they're going to do to Lynn and the Kramers. Just think about that. $50 million at Goldman. Or you lose each dollar up, Lynn is going to lose $160 million. The Kramer is $400 million, 400 plus million every dollar up. It doesn't take a couple of bucks before you're out billions of dollars. Billions. That's what happened to Credit Suisse, and they're gone. And people going to jail. And that's what's going to happen here.
Well, I'll just say for me, I get angry at the regulators, Gary Gensler and the rest. They don't do anything. The criminals do it because they can do it. The cops do nothing. But anyway.
Well, that's how I feel. Again, I know people pass away, people get sick, and we're all lucky that we have our health. But this is a fact of life, and these guys do not care. So I wish the worst to all them and their families, the worst.
One gentleman's asking you, how are they still standing in GTII?
It's a good question. Because we have, GTII has everything in its favor. We got the SEC, FINRA, the DTC going against the prime broker. We know the shorts at that prime broker. We know the FBI knows everything about the Kramers. They won't tell us how they're investigating them. Gretchen Morgenson told me that they are after them too. I mean, it's just remarkable. That means that this stuff is parked someplace, and they're trying not to get margin calls. I put it up. When the stock goes up, they get margin calls. That's the game. And that's why they try to sell it down all the time. Just look at finger motion. If you take this 560 stock of 400 shares, it goes to 563, and then within a minute, someone comes down with 100 shares again because they can't let it go up. They keep dropping offers in there, or it's making it look like there's sellers, continuous selling. That's what they try to make it look. It's a head game. That's all it is.
This guy Burry, I forget his first name, is predicting a market drop. How do you think Lind Partners will do if the market drops?
They're going to get wiped out because when the market drops, everybody scrambles for their money. Michael Burry's been screaming about the market collapse for since he sold his GameStop. So I don't know, whatever year GameStop went, that's when he's been yelling about this.
If Finger goes up and then GTI goes up, will it make the restricted shares in GTII irrelevant?
Yes. Listen, the dividend share of the restricted share is to create havoc. The dividend share in GNS is creating havoc. The dividend share in MMTLP creates havoc. That's where the dividends come from. They're here to create havoc.
Yeah.
That's it. And the reason companies have to do all these crazy things is to create havoc, to fight to stay alive. That's all it's about. At GameStop, AMC could have done that, but they chose to do nothing. So, and I always tell people, Robinhood, close your accounts off at that place. Tell everybody. Spread the word. You have an account there, get rid of it. All it takes is you to tell one person to tell somebody else to just keep moving your accounts. And that's payback to Robinhood. Whatever that guy's name is. Glad, whatever his name is. I forgot.
You don't know. I guess if not legal advice is here, somebody's asking if there's any word on Alpine. Alpine really doesn't matter. It's a dead duck. I don't think Alpine.
Listen, Alpine is staying alive, paying probably their lawyers, who knows, $100,000 a month, fighting all these battles. The only reason they're doing it is obviously because they're hiding money or doing something, or climbing the wall into Mexico. Whatever they're doing, that's why they're doing it.
Yeah.
I don't care how rich you are, they're not going to throw money out of a window unless they're, for a reason,
One gentleman's asking you if and when Finger goes, will it spike and then pull back before it really runs? I mean, no one knows, but
I think you can get a spike to 10, pull back for 20 minutes, and then it goes to 20.
Got you. Round numbers. You think it'll go to the round numbers?
I think it's going to go big. I think you're going to start seeing big gaps.
When do the shorts stop fighting? When do the?
Let me just finish this.
Okay.
I said it before, and I'll say it again. In my opinion, okay, again, this is my opinion. I'm doing this 23 years. I stopped trading the market to take positions, and I didn't know I was going to turn into this, dogfight with these animals. But now that they're trapped, I believe that Finger Motion and GTII are life-changing events. GTI I thought was going first, but it flip-flopped, and now Finger looks like it's going first. So Finger Motion, to me, is teed up, ready to go. There's big buyers around, excuse me, making it impossible for the short to attack anymore. If they do attack, they're just killing themselves even more because people are just buying the dips, which is the best way to play this thing. Accumulation always leads to higher prices. And once this explodes, I expect people that I know, we're going to go from Finger Motion in size to GTII, because now we will have a fully funded army to run over and scoop up everything on the other side of the fence. And that's how we're doing it. Pretty easy.
I was just wondering, why the shorts are obviously fighting here. Is there a point when they give up?
Yeah, when the prime broker, they have the shorts are never going to stop until the prime broker, until they run out of money. The minute they don't put up the money, it's over with. That's how fast it is. And I introduced it to my friend, and he said the same thing. The minute you don't put the money up, it's over with.
And they're just committing suicide, it seems like.
Well, they're dead already. Listen, there's no suicide. They're dead already. They're just standing around waiting to tumble over. There's not even a question. The federal agents will get these guys. It's just a matter of what day it is. They're going to get caught. This is a very well-known, very tremendous connections in law enforcement. We have many investors that have reached out to law enforcement themselves. Everyone is basically dropping a dime on the Kramers and Lynn Partners. I can tell you, last week alone, I've had about 6 people tell me they spoke with law enforcement about the Kramers, that registered complaints about the Kramers. All right, that was last week on GTII. Every day I heard it from somebody new. So they're not hiding. They're not going away. Lynn Partners, we're taking care of these characters ourselves.
Jim Hill is asking, and I think it's a reasonable question. Does the letter that Finger sent to the SEC, August 1, it expires tomorrow, the 15th, that apparently under Rule 477, this should be automatically effective unless the SEC responds within 15 days. Do you think that's having any impact on a potential short squeeze in Finger or buying in Finger?
It has that letter to the SEC has nothing to do with anything.
All right.
That letter to the SEC is for everybody here. The company's basically telling you, we will not cover any shorts. The company's letting the game play out on the field. The company is not going to sell stock. The company's not going to do anything to hurt the short squeeze. AMC, when the stock was going, what did they do? They raised money. They sold stock, right? The company told you, we have no way of selling stock now. That's what they did. That means the company has money and is not selling the stock.
This GNS, which is Roberts or Roger, it's his stock. Do you think they'll get a share count with the upstream dividend?
It's interesting. We'll see what happens. I really haven't been paying attention to it. I watched the stock get destroyed, up, down. He cut a deal with the. You got to remember, this guy did a deal with his lenders. I don't know the details and who it was, but it was settled. That's why the stock collapsed. So are there new thieves here? I don't know. But he did something, and that's when I stopped paying attention to it. But he's still fighting, so let him see what he does.
Why don't the shorts start covering in GTII? It's at 70 whatever cents, 77.
So if you're saying to me that if you were short for that gentleman, the guy, whoever sold that gentleman the stock at $4 plus, let's say it's 100,000 shares, you can make yourself $3 now or $4. You wouldn't buy it back here? That just shows you how big the fraud is, that these guys stand here, and no matter what you do, they think they're going to get away. Right. They're not getting away, so that's just the way it is.
Right.
Again, I'll say it, you can mark it down. In my opinion, these are life-changing opportunities. You don't get them every day. I can't find one. Is GNS that life-changing opportunity? I just told you my reasons. I don't think it is. I mean, he can squeeze whatever he's had here, but he did do a deal to cover the shorts a while ago, and that's why the stock dropped. So, to my opinion, I don't think this is a life-changing play to me. It could be. I don't know. I think Finger Motion and GTI are two companies that are giving you the opportunity right in your face. They've both been standing tall for a long time, fighting the battle long before anybody else joined in this battle. And I think that's the reason that I'm standing here, and that's the reason I believe what I believe. I said it 1,000 times already. I can't say it anymore. There's nothing much more to say. You all know what it is. You know the company has the fundamentals. You know this. You know the company's got money. The company's killing any opportunity for the shorts to call them up to ask for stock to cover. So that ain't happening. So what's the only way to do it? If they sold the stock, they got to buy it back. End the conversation. And the people overseas are not selling their shares. They're increasing their positions. And that's what makes it like Volkswagen. And Volkswagen, the short seller, jumped in front of a train to kill himself. And he was the 100th richest man in the world. So how'd that work out? And that just shows you how stupid the super rich are. They try to get these brokers conned them into doing these trades that have unlimited liability. If you're worth 100, whatever number, let's say 20, let's say you're worth $1 billion, do you really need to make another 20 million, whatever the hell it is? Give it a break already. So these people are risking everything to make to get a bigger stake, and they wind up losing everything. It happens all the time. I believe Michael Jordan got caught in the GameStop mess, and he lost his ownership in the basketball team over it. Now he's a billionaire, but he lost $500 million.
Well, he just sold his basketball team or whatever he owned, some team.
He didn't sell it. He gave it to the guy from Merlin Capital. He owed him money. That's what happened.
Oh.
He got caught up in the short squeeze. He got blown out.
Do you think, with this guy's asking, if Finger goes, he made up the number to 300, that Finger will sell stock to raise money?
Oh, that's probably.
And that's a good thing, I think.
No, listen. If they don't listen, from here to 100, everyone will be thrilled, right?
Right.
300, the company, everybody else who's still here is entitled to do whatever you want to do.
Right.
And like I said, everyone I see, everyone I meet, I always tell them to buy one share. That's all, just own one share. A guy fixed my window, I made him buy one share. I just tell him, so you have to take a shot. You want to learn the stock market? Watch the stock, watch what's going on, because this is the forefront of this fight. This is the leader. GTII and Finger Motion. That's it. MMTLP is a leader in a different way because they've been shut down. It's a completely different fight. It's taken it to a different level. So for those in the MMTLP community, we are with you, but it's a different fight than a free trading stock. So please don't ask me about that.
Do you think if the market crashes, the shorts will be able to walk away scot-free?
Yes, they're going to walk away right to Rikers Island scot-free. Listen, when the market crashes, everyone scrambles to get their money to protect themselves, right? The big banks, everyone's going to call in any loans, everything. Once they pull back the money, margin calls go up, and that's when they get crushed. So they don't skirt. If you ever go back and look when the market's crashing, a lot of the stocks with big shorts go up. And the reason they go up when the market's down is because the shorts try to cover because they know longs want to sell to raise capital. So whenever you see the market down 200, 300, 400, you're going to see, I'll give an example, a stock like Tupperware or Rite Aid or something saying, okay, they take these shitty stocks and they drive them up because they know people want to try to exit to raise money to support whatever other positions they have or to, just to protect themselves. Right. So if you long, 50,000 Tupperware at $2 and it runs to $4 and then now it's $3 and the market's crashing and it's starting to move up, you get, let me sell my winner, and hold on to my loser. We all do the same thing, right? Right, William? How many people hold on to their losers and sell their winners?
Sounds like me.
Everybody does that one. Oh, let me get rid of this one. I'm up $1. I'm down 70 cents on this loser. Instead of selling the loser, we sell the winner, hold on to the loser. That's like my friend in Seattle. He does that all the time.
The game's about making money. You don't have to make money in the one that you first bought. But is there any escape for the finger shorts?
Unless they're Houdini. No, there is no way out. Listen, if you're sitting watching it, we're watching it all day long. All right? I took a break for an hour. I had to run some errands. But again, we have people watching it, documenting everything they're doing. The way they could have got out was the company played nice with them and sold them stocks and raised the money. But they didn't. They wanted to keep pressing their bet. They thought they could win. They thought we would quit. And we stood tall for 3 years fighting them. Not 3 weeks, 3 years.
What do you see Fingers action August, September? Vansy Kiev wants to know.
I've said it 1,000 times. I think it's imminent. I think it's going to go. Where you get off the train, that's your stop. I can't help you with that. You get off. Whatever you like.
All right. Well, I think we've run out of questions.
All right. Does anybody want to understand option trading while I have you? I did
yes,
that with the video,
people
right?
want to know option trading. What would you do this week with options if you own them? Would you buy them? Everything.
So this is me, and I'm a crazy option player, right? All right. So number one, I'm looking at the options. First of all, the shorts look like if you write this number down, 3507. 3507, and look at the August 5 puts. They're 15 cents to 25 cents and 638. Now, did they sell those or did they buy them? I can't tell because I can't tell if it's an opening or closing transaction. So tomorrow, I'll see if that 3507 is reduced by 638. Do you follow me? So it would be down to like 2,900, say, the open interest. Right now it's 3,507. So if they sold them, that means they sold them to close. That means their option position was reduced by 637. So if they were buying them, we'll know tomorrow, and I can make that determination if they're going to try to do something funny and try to attack the stock. All right, but you can see they did it. The last option period when the stock was 7, they bought 2,800 of the 2s, 4,800 of the 4s, 3,500 of the 7 of the 5s, and 1,700 of the 6 options. They used that to short and try to drive the stock down, which they did. But you can see next month they haven't done anything yet. There's no open interest anywhere there. Now flip to the call side. So that's the first thing I look for.
Does the open interest update during the day or only at the end?
On my system, it does it tomorrow.
Okay, all right, keep going.
So it's 3507 on the $5 puts.
Okay.
On the put side. The action has been on the other side, on the call side. I am a degenerate option player. So if I was trading, I would be buying, the 6s, the 7s, and the 8s. I'd be buying all of them for this week. That's me. Why? Because I could buy probably $20,000 worth of options that expire this week. And if I'm right, I can turn that into making $1 million. That's how I look at it. I can't do that and buy $20,000 in options in NVIDIA, okay, and turn it into more than making $20,000. I could buy $20,000 worth of calls and make myself $100,000, $50,000. But with a finger trade, if I'm right and I get the timing right, I can make it into $1 million. That's how I look at the option market. Right? If I'm trading it, if I bought NVIDIA calls today on the dip, on Friday on the dip, and it bounced back $20-something today, I probably would have made, when it jumped up $8 or $10, I would have sold my calls. There's no way I was staying for up $28, because this stock could be up $30, $40. It could be down another $100. It could be anywhere. But trading it, I would have probably made $3 or $4 and see you later. I probably would have bought 50 calls, flipped them, made myself 15 grand, and I'll see you later. That's trading. That's in NVIDIA. If I'm looking for a play where I think I can really make money on it, it's something like a finger motion where I can step in and buy cheap calls, okay, know my risk, and say, hey, you know what, I know I'm going to lose if it doesn't work by Friday, but if I think this thing is ready to run, and this thing runs to 10, and I own the 5, 6, and 7s, or whatever, the 8s, I could probably make an average price, let's say 2 points. Let's say it stops at 10. I'll make an average, let's say $2 to $3, 1,000 times. It's 300 grand. You can make a lot of money.
So one guy's asking, when would you buy the September calls on Finger?
Friday. You wait, you buy something on Friday, and then you buy the rest on Monday or Tuesday.
Yeah.
Because the premium will come out. If the stock is not going to work, the premium will come out of the calls.
Yep.
The same thing we said last time.
Yep.
Why chase the premium? They drove the stock from 7 to 4 on the attack, correct?
Yep.
So if we would have bought the 7s when the stock was 6, we'd still be losing because the stock went down to 4.
Yep.
If you waited, they wiped out the options, but the next month's options also collapsed, and you could have bought them for half price again.
Yep.
That's how I look at the option page. I like to play the front month, which is the August month. And, hopefully I land it and I hit it right. And if I don't, and the stock doesn't work, okay, then I'll be able to buy the next month's at a 50% discount anyway.
Excellent. That's excellent advice.
I'm just looking at the stock and the 200 shares for sale, the 500, the 100. It's like a machine gun. They just keep coming back with 200 and 100 and 100.
Well, I've been noticing there's every now and then there's a nice bid, and they always step in front of the bid just so you don't know there's a big bid.
Well, that if you see a bid and they show a big bid of 5,000,
yeah,
that is a real buyer.
Mm-hmm.
And then the short will step in front of it to hide him.
Exactly.
That's when you know there's a buyer, when you see the bids.
Yeah.
Otherwise, the market always looks like it's 300 shares to buy and 700 shares for sell. That's what they try to paint to you all the time. There's always a seller. It never goes up. There's always a seller. All right, that's their game. Now the 700 shares, they hit the 53 bid, and now it's 900 shares at 53. They're trying to save pennies, and now it's 1,100 shares. So it was 900, let's throw another 200 shares out there to really get everybody to panic. Listen, the market in the stock is 51 to 52, 800 shares by 800 shares. That's the short by the short right now.
Right. Probably hiding a large buy order.
Well, they are hiding a large buy. They know it's there. They're just trying to mark it down for the close so that we go home and say, oh my God, the stock closed down a penny. Oh, the humanity. They're just trying to get you to panic. Oh my God, hurry up. The sellers are coming in on the close. They weren't here all day, but now they need to sell it down. That's their mentality. Just think how they're thinking. There hasn't been no selling all day. There's no pressure. And all they want to do is to have the stock say, at the end of the day, the stock is unchanged. We won. Meanwhile, we won because we just accumulated more. The more they sell, the higher it goes. Remember, all people ask, where's the big buyer? Well, the big buyer is the short, that's for sure.
This question keeps coming up. When there's covering, is it during the day, or is it in the aftermarket or pre-market?
I've always told that the market makers don't play in the aftermarket, so there's a lot more manipulation, with the programs later in the aftermarket or pre-market.
Right.
That those are all those bots, the programs going back and forth. That nonsense.
Yeah.
Hey, listen,
Someone's pointing out that
anybody can sell this. Anybody can sell in the pre-market or aftermarket. You can do it.
somebody's pointing out that Finger hit 590 today, and it didn't. It hit 5.8999. That's manipulation. That's communication.
They close the stock at 550. Hooray! They're thrilled. Really nothing happens all day. It's a non-event. But every day that the stock is alive, these guys, now there's 10,000 offered at 550.
Spoof.
1 second after the market closes.
Spoof.
Right. 1 second after the market closes. Hurry up. I want to sell my 9,100 shares.
Spoof.
They'll mark it down. They'll trade it down on 200 shares, 100 shares. It's exactly what I would do. I'd be sitting there saying, I got to get these people to sell the stock. Listen to these questions that William's getting all day long. They're all rookies. That's what they're saying. They're listening. Hurry up, sell 200 at 548. Sell another 100 at 540. And everyone's going to panic because they see the stock down in the aftermarket. It's all nonsense. It's just a head game. They're just trying. It's a head fake. They're just trying to get you to be disgusted about what's going on.
I wish the SEC would listen and realize that it's all fraud, and they have to act, but they don't listen.
That's why we do it ourselves.
So,
as my football hero said, if we're going to do this, let's do it big. That's what he said.
So, just maybe to finish on a positive note, do you think it can run this week to the upside this week?
Yes. I think I said that 26 times today.
I know you did, but hey.
Yeah, people, listen, I got it. People with options, I understand it. I'm an option guy. I told you every crazy option story that happened to me the last second. I've sold them. I was the last guy to sell it before the stock went up. I've bailed out many times. I've done the same mistakes as everyone else does. But being my skin is like leather now. Well, I'm sure Pistol Pete and Philly is the same type of guy. When you swing for the fences so many times, you know what I learned? Singles, doubles, triples, they all add up. All right? But I put my time in this one, and I understood what was going on, and that's why I see it as a life-changing situation. I'm sitting here 3 years, not for a stock to go up $1. And when the stock ran to 10, I could have sold it, went home, and told everyone to take a walk. But we're still standing here. We're not here, all of us, for a stock to go up 50 cents or $1. So, again, understand why we're standing here. We see the opportunity. We're all not that stupid. We can all see it. All right?
Yep.
I'm going out to play ball. Have a good night, and we'll speak tomorrow. And we send our best to the Tony, what's his name again? I forget. Tony Twits and his family. We send our regards.
Yes, we do, and our prayers. Thank you,
Thank you,
Henry.
everyone.
Thank you.
Got it.
All right. I'm going to answer quickly this question on the restricted shares. The reason the price doesn't show up is because the restricted shares don't trade. That's why. As soon as the restricted shares become real shares, you'll see a price. And yes, the reason the restricted shares were issued is to catch the brokerage firms out. There are at least 400 million, we think, shares of GTII. Cut it in half. 200, 100. Cut it as many times as you want. That are fake. You have IOUs in your accounts. The ones that are trading that show a price, they're still IOUs. They're still fraud. The SEC allows fraud in your accounts. We should get that guy, Samuel L. Jackson, to do a commercial that says, boom, boom, what's in your account? Instead of what's in your wallet. Because there's nothing in your account. Gary Gensler lets the system give you an IOU in return for your cash. But yes, many of the restricted shares are just fake entries in your account. What the hope is, if you can just think it through, is that some of these back offices are honest and they're going to go out and seek real shares, try to get the opposite side of the IOU closed. That's the whole point. Is it going to work? Not under Gary Gensler. He doesn't care. He doesn't care about the over-the-counter markets. He does not care about securities fraud. He cares about the fraud in the crypto space because crypto is a threat to Goldman Sachs. Stock loan and this kind of fraud is a profit center for Goldman Sachs. It's a fact, Jack. And we can keep trying to see it differently. But the reason Gary Gensler is in the SEC is to protect Goldman Sachs. I'm so sorry that Tony died. He worked very hard, but I bet he's up there working for each of you. Look, GTI MH. Open up the screen, type in GTII, 77 cents. That's what your shares are worth. But guys, just like MMTLP, most of the shares in our account are frauds. Do you understand? Goldman Sachs invented the F3 button. F3. Hey, I lost my homework, but I'll bring it tomorrow. And then the market maker goes, oh, well, we'll take the order. Goldman Sachs makes 75% of its revenues in the stock loan division. 76% of that profit comes off the hard to borrow, according to Patrick Byrne. Gary Gensler protects this so that Goldman Sachs makes returns. Ken Griffin does it. Stevie Cohen. All of these do it. The guys do it at arm's length. You can't prove it. It's in my opinion, but it's all at arm's length. But you still, oh, what's in my account? What's in your account is an IOU. Simple as that. It's an IOU. GTII is trying to cause a reckoning that Gary Gensler will not cause. Gary Gensler will never cause Goldman Sachs to have to close out its failed to locate, fails to deliver. He's going to be up there on Congress talking about order for flow, and senior citizens can get on the website and they can learn about how good the SEC is. And we have the most transparent markets in the world and the deepest, and the deflection. The bottom line is settlement. And Gary Gensler will do nothing about settlement. Anyway, I don't want to even talk about it anymore. It's so. Sometimes when I get those questions, I just wonder, hasn't anything gotten through? Yeah, I'm sorry, Tony's gone. Just say a prayer for him. Somebody said it might be COVID. I didn't know that he was ill, but I heard it was COVID. I can't. You know, I followed the science. I'm sure that it wasn't. I'm sure that it would have been worse had he not taken the medication. I'm glad one Fix-It Man. You have shares of Finger, and I agree with a gentleman earlier that pointed out. You know, a lot of people are playing options. I did the last 2 months, lost everything, but it would have maybe just been smarter just to buy the stock. You know, the stock doesn't expire. Oh, he had COVID. Well, God bless him. I mean, can you imagine spending your last days and hours fighting for you and me? That man is a saint. I don't know if God gives out sainthoods for financial fighters, but I would. That guy deserves direct entry to heaven. Real disappointed the longs couldn't hold off the shorts today. I don't really see it that way. Of course, I'm disappointed it didn't go to the moon, but the volume today is God, my eyesight. I'm sorry. I don't see the volume on my screen. Yeah, I don't see the. Oh, there it is. 563. I think it was slow and steady on. I think today's action actually was really strong. It seems like there's a professional buyer, as I felt there has been for over 2 months now. It feels like a professional buyer in there, letting it go up, but then stepping back, letting Jeff Easton in his brilliance continue to sell stock to this professional. Yes, I'd love it to break out. Yes, I'd love it to be a gamma squeeze by Friday. But I'm starting to realize, well, I guess maybe it's the September call cycle. Who knows? It's not over yet. It's not over yet. All you need is someone to come in, give instructions to their broker, go out and I want to accumulate 5 million shares up to 7, up to 8, up to 10, and go buy them. And the Lynn partners are toast. And that'll come. Well, Dos Equis, he had a good sense of humor. I wish I had watched him more then. That's very nice. Yeah, he was fighting on the side of good and honor. I all I can say is God bless him in a sincere way. And you know, we all, as Clint Eastwood said, we've all got it coming, kids. So we've all got that coming. And it can give us each maybe the motive to redouble our efforts with the days that we have ahead to do what we can to be good. All right, so I actually think today's price action was really strong. I would have loved it to go up. The gentleman that pointed out that this letter to the SEC dated August 1 from Finger Motion asking for the withdrawal of the registration statement, under Rule 477. That rule has a little conditional clause that this goes into effect unless the SEC comes back in 15 days. I don't know exactly why that would do anything to buyers coming in, and that's what Ham said. This is irrelevant. But what I could see happening, management at Finger is deliberate, honest, hardworking, and they dot every I and cross every T. They make no mistakes. So just maybe it has some relevance, bigger than I can figure out. Tony used to say he wanted $1,000 a share for MMTLP. I agree with him, and I'll make it my commitment to help him get that. Yeah. How old was Tony? All right, I've got to go because Lucky for the first time seems to want to go outside and do a number two. He's been eating. He's got a smile on his face. I hope that I'm not going to be disappointed that in a week it all goes downhill, but it's like a little bit of a miracle. So I really thank everyone for watching. I'm going to go walk him. And he was young. Darn it. That's too bad. Only the good die young. Thank you, M. Casey. My price points, GTI 331, 181, and 98. Those are good entries. Very good entries, Woody. Do I think the whale is buying in a dark pool? No. Because I think we would have seen a trade here. But I don't think it really matters. If it's in a dark pool or not, it still is reported. I think it's different than GME and AMC in the sense that I would argue that Ken Griffin was part of the problem in those shares. I don't think Ken Griffin, Citadel is playing Finger. Maybe Jeffries could call him up and say, could you help us out? I doubt it. No, I don't really think so. I think this is a buyer who is just buying 100, 200, 300, 400,000 shares a day, it seems like, and letting the shorts commit harikari. That's my guess. And I think it's more than one buyer, and it's more than one whale. I don't think Finger has gone up because I've been talking about it, because Ham's been talking about it. I think there's been somebody buying this stock for several weeks, possibly over 3 months, taking it from 144 up to 740 in the pre-market, and the criminals are fighting all the way. But it's somebody buying, and I don't think it's us. I don't think we're big enough. So anyway, I don't know what LY is, but thank you. Ring my bell. I really appreciate everyone. Let's just finish with a quick, instead of, let's wish peace to Tony and say a prayer for his family, and pray that he is in God's loving arms. So I'm going to leave it at that. Tomorrow is a new day. One of these days, Finger is going to go. So, ciao.